Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Welcome back to everyone's number one's favorite talk show, Speak Now. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the issue of wealth distribution, and we will also invite a very special guest with us to the studio to explore this topic in detail. Wealth distribution is a comparison of wealth among various people of a particular community. It is the way in which wealth and income are divided among its population. Therefore, we have done some survey to know whether people understand this issue or not by asking several community members for any words that they think relevant to the topic of wealth distribution. Let's see this clip together.
Wealth, imbalance, and injustice.
Mega rich, elite, disadvantage.
Uneven, elite and poverty.
Disproportionate, struggling and concentration.
Rich, poor dengan gap.
Extreme, maybe uneven and inequality.
Wealth, inequality, and divide.
I think disparity, concentrated, and marginalized.
Hi and welcome back to the studio where we will be discussing about the topic of wealth distribution in detail, and today we are having a very special guest with us, which is Prof. Sarah, who is an expert in Islamic economics. A little bit of an overview about Prof. Sarah. So Prof. Sarah has been in the industry of Islamic economics for 40 years. She is a 5 times Nobel Prize winner and has done a lot of research that gives light to the current Islamic economics industry. She has also written a lot of books that have been adopted as the textbook for university students in Malaysia. Nowadays, aside from being involved in research, Prof. Sarah has also taken an interest in gardening and taking care of the environment. Welcome and thank you, Prof. Sarah, for coming to this talk show, Speak Now. Wow, what an achievement you have there, Professor. It is always a wonderful experience to have big names in the industry like you sitting with us today in the studio. So, without further ado, I think most of the viewers are already curious to know about the wealth distribution. So, Prof. Sarah.
Thank you for having me.
So, Prof. Sarah, what wealth distribution really is?
Wealth distribution refers to the way in which assets, resources, and financial wealth are allocated among individuals or groups in a society.
I see. So what about the wealth distribution in Islamic perspective? Are there any outlines which are specified in the Qur'an and Sunnah on this topic?
Of course, if we refer to the Qur'an and Sunnah, wealth distribution is evidently emphasized on certain outlines such as the principles of justice, fairness, and compassion. We can say that Islam recognizes that wealth and resources are not simply private possessions, but are entrusted to individuals as means to fulfill their responsibilities and obligations towards society as a whole. Another distinctive feature is that in Islam, we believe that all resources belong to Allah and individuals merely act as trustees.
Wow, so even in Islamic perspective, wealth distribution is really an important topic, right?
Yes, wealth distribution is significant because it affects the overall well-being and fairness within a society. It can influence social mobility, economic opportunities, and the standard of living for different segments of the population. So, if wealth distribution is taken lightly, we will see adverse effects in our society which can be observed today. The issue of inequality of wealth and resources have been rampant in our society, and it leads to various problems in terms of health, social, moral, and economic.
I see. So, Prof. Sarah, what do you think are among the factors that contribute to wealth inequality?
When we examine the complex issue of wealth inequality, it becomes evident that multiple factors intertwine to shape this societal phenomenon. Economic growth, a key driver of prosperity and progress, also plays a significant role in the distribution of wealth. Firstly, disparities in income contribute to wealth inequality. Economic growth can lead to increased overall income levels, but if the benefits of growth disproportionately favors certain groups or are not adequately distributed, income inequality may widen. This can occur due to variation in wages, salaries, and compensation structures across industries, occupations, or regions. If the gap between high and low income earners widens during periods of economic growth, it can further worsen wealth inequality.
So, do you think that educational opportunities are another crucial factors linked to economic growth and wealth inequality? Because access to quality education equips individuals with the skills and knowledge necessary to thrive in a rapidly changing economy. However, due to unequal access to education, particularly in disadvantaged communities, it can hinder social mobility and perpetuate income disparities.
Will that Miss Aina? As economic growth relies on a skilled and educated workforce, unequal educational opportunities can impede overall progress and worsen wealth inequality. Access to resources is another key factor influencing wealth inequality. Economic growth can create opportunities for wealth accumulation through entrepreneurship, investment, and asset ownership. However, unequal access to resources such as capital, credit, and property can limit the ability of certain individuals or groups to participate fully in economic growth. Discriminatory practices in lending and financial systems, for example, can disproportionately affect marginalized communities and perpetuate wealth disparities.
Tax policies and economic structure also have a role in shaping wealth inequality, right? Progressive taxation, where higher income individuals contribute a greater share of their income, can help mitigate wealth disparity by redistributing resources. Conversely, regressive tax policies or tax loopholes that benefit the wealthy can worsen wealth inequality. Similarly, economic structure that favors certain groups, such as monopolistic practices or limited competition, can concentrate wealth in the hands of a few, hindering overall economic growth and perpetuating inequality.
You are absolutely correct. Economic growth interacts with various factors to shape wealth inequality. Disparities in income, educational opportunities, access to resources, inheriting patterns, tax policies, systemic discrimination, and economic structures all contribute to the distribution of wealth within a society. Addressing these factors require a comprehensive approach that aims to foster inclusive economic growth, promote equitable access to resources and opportunities, and dismantle systemic barriers that perpetuate wealth inequality.
By addressing the factors that contribute to wealth inequality and promoting inclusive economic growth, equitable access to resources and opportunities, and dismantling systemic barriers, we can significantly contribute to poverty reduction, right? It is through this comprehensive effort that we can create a society where poverty becomes an exception rather than the norm, allowing individuals and communities to thrive and reach their full potential.
Yes, that's true. That's why equitable and fair wealth distribution is strongly advocated in Islam. And since society has been neglecting this for generations, that's why we are seeing the negative consequences of it today. Conventional interest is normalized, poverty is heightened, social justice is ignored.
I see. Wow, what a very insightful sharing by Prof. Sarah. Currently, do you have any ongoing research that you want to share with the viewers today?
Oh, what a coincidence. Actually, I am currently working a research paper on this topic with my other colleagues, and I hope it can be published as soon as possible. I hope you guys will look forward to it. The impending title is Distribution of Wealth and Resources in Islam, Restoring Social Justice, Peace and Prosperity.
That is so interesting. Can't wait for the article to be published for the public. So I think with that, it wraps up our session with Prof. Sarah today. Thank you so much, Prof. Sarah, for a very interesting sharing. We wish you a very good luck for your research and we hope to see you again soon. That's all for today's episode. We will see you again in another episode with another interesting topic. With that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.